Hello everyone, welcome to Premature Academy channel. My name is Jeet Singh and today we have very excited game Ding Liren versus Gukesh World Championship game number 7. And just imagine that it's very long game in all 7 games till now. 72 moves. Imagine that. It's very excited game with very excited moves as well. So stay tuned with us. Just hit the subscribe button. So you will never miss any of the video in future as well. So here we are on game. In this before 2 games, Gukesh played e4 from white pieces. But in this game, Gukesh played knight f3, totally different move. Ding Liren played d5 and Gukesh played pawn g3. It's very good structure from white. It's also converted in a queen pawn opening after few moves. And Ding Liren played g6. This is very solid defense against white this opening. Gukesh played d4, Ding Liren played bishop g7, then pawn c4, because this is very standard opening, pawn c6, and then bishop g2. Pawn c6, bishop g2, knight f6, white castle, black also castle. So far, both player are good because opening, this is very like common opening. Then rook e1, and here Ding Liren captured the pawn. Now Gukesh played e4 to like cover the center, and Ding Liren played again good move bishop g4, then nbd2. But still, this is so far it's fine. Here, like some of players are playing d5, but Ding Liren decided to play c5, and this is mistake because Gukesh played d5 to create the parcel. Now Ding Liren played e6, and here our white has to move as a knight c4 as a pawn h3. Knight c4 we can capture, but Gukesh decided to pawn h3. Ding Liren capture bishop f3. Now capture the pawn, and he captured. Now here is the tactics. Black cannot capture this pawn. If black will capture, so this is very good tactics. Knight c4, and this knight is pinned. If that knight will move, so b7 is hanging, and race rook is gone. So Ding Liren played correctly, and bd7, then knight c4, and then d5 instant Ding Liren played. Gukesh played knight a3. This is very good move because d6 is coming and there are some tactics. But right now, Ding Liren was also prepare of this line. He played queen d6. Then Gukesh took some time and he played very fantastic move, bishop f4. Because bishop is covering this diagonal. Also, in the future, we can come rook c1, knight c2. There are some of the moves. Ding Liren played rook e8 and queen d2 because if rook will capture, queen can. Here, if rook will capture, so let me, yeah, okay. If rook will capture, rook will capture, and this is not a good for black because queen e2 and b5 will win the attack, knight will win the attack. So Ding Liren played correctly again, rook a to d8, and then knight c2. This is excellent move by Gukesh. Here Gukesh thought about more than 10 minutes, and then he played knight c2. Then knight f8. Idea is knight e6 because this is a pin. This pawn cannot capture, otherwise this rook is capturing the queen. So idea is knight e6. But then Gukesh again played very good move, pawn b4. Because if pawn will capture, then knight can capture this pawn, and then knight can go to c6. So Ding Liren played pawn c4. He also said, okay, my pawn is supported. I'm going to also create the parcel pawn. Gukesh again played bishop e3 and attack to the queen. The bishop will go to d4, so to stop the discovery attack as well. So Ding Liren played queen a6, bishop d4, and rook capture the rook. Here, queen can also capture this, but best move is rook will capture, and Gukesh find out rook e1. And to capture the pawn, it's not a good move. It's inaccuracy, but Ding Liren just capture the pawn. And Gukesh played finally good, like a accurate move, rook a1, queen b3, and then to capture the pawn, it's a bad because right now queen f3 is coming. So Gukesh find the best move, rook a3, then queen b1, king g2, and then rook d7. Here is the best move to play rook f5, and Gukesh thought around more than 18 minutes, and then he played rook a5. So queen b3, but Gukesh didn't capture the pawn. He come back again one more time, rook a3, and Ding Liren has only one move, so he just repeat the move. He was happy to draw the game, but Gukesh he didn't want to draw in this stage. He played again rook a5 and then capture the pawn. Queen d3. Here is the best move, bishop e3. So totally white is better in this situation, but Gukesh decided to play second good move to play queen f4 to give the more pressure and sacrifice his knight. So Ding Liren captured the knight, Gukesh also captured, then queen f5. And here is a good move to capture the queen because this structure is damaged, and Gukesh did the same thing. Now white is obviously, it's not winning, but in one of the stage, I will show you, there was totally Gukesh was winning. Okay, let's come back quickly on. So rook c4, c5 to attack to the pawn. Then Ding Liren instant played knight to g6, and Gukesh captured the pawn. Then knight to e5 to attack to the both pieces. Then rook d4, because right now if knight will capture, so white is totally winning. So Ding Liren played knight c6 because it's a pin. We cannot capture the knight, otherwise rook is hanging. So rook f4. Here we can go like a d cross c6, but this is like a very like black favorable situation. This is not good for white. So Mukesh played rook f4 to attack to this pawn, knight e7 to attack to this pawn, also to defend the pawn. Then Gukesh played b5. Right now, if knight will capture, so we should not capture because white will capture simply rook f5. So Ding Liren played king f6, rook d4, pawn h6. Now he thought about like here on Ding Liren had clock on I guess on like 3 minutes, and then he played h6, then king f1, and then Ding Liren did the mistake king e5 in 40th of the move, because king a5 is the mistake. Rook h4 is a coming. Rook h4 to attack to this pawn. So if rook will come here, then rook will come to a4. If again rook will go d7, again rook will go a6, and these both pawn will be under attack. So Ding Liren calculated this all things. He decided to capture the pawn, and now rook h6, and this is totally winning for white because this is clearly better. White has partial pawn. But let's see what happened after that, because both has down on the time, both were obviously in time pressure. It's not easy to find the accurate move. So Ding Liren played knight c3. Gukesh find still best move, rook c6, because right now knight cannot capture, otherwise this is double attack. Knight to e4, and now it's time to capture the route. Right now knight, so pawn will capture, and then simple c5, king has to go back, and then g4 to stop the f5, and this is the parcel we have. So white was totally winning in this situation, but Gukesh didn't capture this knight, and this time he had to capture the knight, so he was totally winning. But Gukesh played king e1, and that is not a best move, that is a mistake, and Ding Liren find the best move, f6 now. Idea is rook d3 and then attack to the bishop, also rook d2. So Gukesh played h4, but now again Ding Liren fight the excellent move rook d3. And here Gukesh was confused. He just touched the bishop and he left it. And again he just played bishop d1. So he was confused, but he played bishop d1 finally. And again Ding Liren was finding the best move f4. Idea is if g4, then rook h3 and mid threat, also h4 pawn will win the attack. So Gukesh captured the pawn. He captured bishop c2, rook d5, and rook c4 to pinning the knight. Here is the only move f5, so he played it, and then rook b4. So this game is now it's almost draw, but it's still both were fighting. Then king f2 again to attack to the pawn, but bishop d1 check, and still this pawn is not hanging because bishop f3 and this rook is hanging. So he played rook e5 to discover attack, but f4 is a good move to attack to the rook. Rook e7, and again Gukesh find the best move, rook e3 to pin the knight. He played rook h7, so Gukesh played h5, knight f6, and rook e5. He captured the pawn, but this game is now it's draw. Gukesh also knew that. But still he fight it. He Ding Liren played knight g3, rook f8, rook b7 over the board. Because now if bishop e2, knight will capture and this pawn is hanging. So Gukesh played bishop a4, but it's not easy to win the game because right now king is active and knight is already like covering this one. But Gukesh pushed the pawn, f5, king f4, h6, but knight e4 to stop the pawn, because the pawn is going, knight e6 will come and this pawn is gone. But Gukesh played bishop c2 because Gukesh knew that if pawn is coming, so knight d6 and that pawn is gone. So he played bishop c2, but it's still knight d6, and then rook d8, king e5, bishop c2. And now in this stage, Gukesh knew that this game is going to finish in a draw. But he just fight out. Now rook d5, finally king captured the pawn, and now king d2. And now Gukesh was looking that rook is coming to d6 to exchange it, but he just played bishop c4 because now there is no more plan. And finally, Ding Liren gave the knight sacrifice to capture the pawn, and this is interface material. So this game was very good because 72 moved this game. It's a long game in all 7 games right now in all one championship game. This is very long game. So I hope you enjoy the game. Stay tuned with us. And what do you think? Who will win, Gukesh or Ding? Just comment in the chat box who will win, and just hit the subscribe button so you will never miss any video.